Hi, my name is Sandrine Anapa. I'm taking a speech class this fall, 2018, and I'll be presenting my third speech. It's a persuasive speech. This speech is on hearing loss. I'll be speaking, the speech is addressed to members of a local 795 of the United Auto Workers. It's composed of 50 men and 70 women. I live in Michigan, and this plant is found in Michigan, in Livonia, Michigan. The workers work for the steering and eggs plants located in Livonia, Michigan. The economic status of the workers is middle class, with a salary range of 30,000 to 50,000. The group was formed to discuss an issue that involves job security and work ethics. The educational level ranges from 1 year in college to college graduate to college graduate. I'll be here to persuade my audience that hearing is very, very valuable, and if something is not taken, and if it's not taken care of, it may be lost forever. Even the noise-induced hearing can easily be prevented. It is the one cause of deafness for people of all ages. Again, I'm particularly thrilled with this topic because my dad suffers from hearing loss. He uses hearing aids in both ears, and he has a challenge, again, being from Africa, and putting on hearing aids is not as accepted as it is in other parts of the world. So I'm taking this topic to encourage people on the effects of hearing loss. He struggles with hearing, and he really doesn't like to put on his hearing aids, which he should do that. And so many people do not take care of their hearing until they get older, or they lose it, or they're about to lose it, and they'll try to fix it. Okay, what is that you say? I didn't quite hear you. Can you repeat that? These are some of the phrases or expressions that you can expect to hear from your grandparents. But if you are not careful, you might be uttering these words. Noise-induced hearing loss can affect all people, and it is important to know the steps you can take to prevent it. Even though noise-induced hearing loss can easily be prevented, it is the number one cause of deafness for people of all ages. This is because sometimes people think hearing loss only affects the elderly, but nowadays we can see that even kids, very young kids or middle-aged teenagers, college students are having so much hearing loss, probably because of the listening to music or high volumes or other things, earpieces in their ears and stuff, the increased technology we use nowadays. I have done research in the library on topics of hearing loss. Also, I'm in college and I do some studies. I'm in healthcare, so I do some studies with regards to hearing. First, I will describe the two major ways noise-induced hearing loss occurs. Second, I will show you how the disabled skilled workers. Finally, I will give you some advice on how to protect yourself from noise-induced hearing loss. Even though noise-induced hearing loss can easily be prevented, it is number one cause of hearing deafness for people of all ages. Noise-induced hearing loss can be experienced in two different ways. One, the first type of noise-induced hearing loss is called temporary threshold shifts, also known as TTS. In a 1993 article from American Family Physician Bahodari and Bond explained that TTS, which is temporary threshold shift, is caused by listening to a moderate level of noise for a short period of time. Two main symptoms of TTS include ringing in the ears and misperception of sound. I can relate with that. My uncle always complains of his ears ringing. I used to wonder when I was young, like, what is that? 3. Bahodori and Bond, 1993, stated in this type of noise-induced hearing loss can be reversible if it is detected in time. Also, According to NASA from an article in the British Journal of Audiology in 2001, TTS can result from varying sources of noise. For example, spending 60 minutes in an aerobic class. The second type of noise-induced hearing loss is permanent threshold shifts, PTS. Bohadori and Bourne in 1993 explained that PTS is caused by exposure of loud sounds for either a long or short period of time. Acoustic trauma is a very brief exposure to a loud noise and is common cause of PTS. There is a slim chance of regaining normal hearing range from this type of loss. I've just informed you on the two different ways you can acquire noise-induced hearing. That's the TTS and the PTS. Now let's talk about let's take a look at the decibel scale. The decibel scale is a measurement of intensity. In their book Speech Science Primer from 1994, Borden, Harris, and Raphael explained that intensity is defined by how loud a sound is. The increments on the scale are in logarithm steps with a range of 0 to 130. Kelp stated in Newsweek from 1997 that any sound that measures over 85 decibels is dangerous to hearing. Secondly, the decibel scale shows the intensity of some common sounds. Kelp 1997 reported that a rock concert measures 120 dB and 130 being classified as painful. Something is so common as a lawn mower measures 90 dB. That's decibel. Understanding how sounds measure on decibel scale will not help you decide which method or protection you will need to defend yourself against noise-induced hearing loss. Noise-induced hearing loss can be best understood in terms of decibel. Noise-induced hearing loss can be eliminated by self-prevention. Try to reduce noise in public area. Bahodari and Bond 1993 recognized that reducing noise is very difficult for the general public as a whole. They suggest that each individual should try to be considerate in public. 2. Wearing earplugs if sound is unavoidable. Earplugs are very inexpensive. Bahodari and Bond stated acknowledged that earplugs can decrease the decibel measurement by 25 dB. Furthermore, according to Denniston in a 2000 article from Industrial Distribution, using hearing plugs may also reduce irritability, fatigue, stress on jobs with frequent exposure to noise. It is important to educate yourself. Know the warning signs of noise-induced hearing loss. Be aware of how different sounds measure on the decibel scale. In conclusion, today I first described the two major ways noise-induced hearing loss occurs. Second, I showed you how the decibel scale works. Finally, I gave you some advice on how to protect yourself from noise-induced hearing loss. Even though noise-induced hearing loss can easily be prevented, it is #1 cause of deafness for people of all ages. The next time you are jamming out on a concert, please remember to take along earplugs because you would want to be in your last. Thank you very much.